Guys, in fractions, okay, so we have to change improper fractions into mixed numbers reduced to lower terms. Now, let me just disclaimer here. A lot of times mixed numbers are used in the USA American system more than other systems, okay? Doesn't mean that it's not in the other system. It is in other systems. However, in the American system, educational system, they use a lot of the mixed numbers more than anybody else, okay? So if you see there, you don't see here, but it's still there, okay? So let's see what's happening. So we have 44 over 15. So first of all, what is 4 over 15 as a fraction? It's an improper fraction. You can go back to our previous videos so you can see that. So this is what we call an improper fraction. So we want to make it a mixed number, on fraction. So how do we do that? So we got to do division. Ladies and gentlemen, I know we love calculators. You can just try with your calculators, anything else, but ladies and gentlemen, these are fundamentals. We do not need calculators for those, okay? So let's go at it. So we're trying to do 44. Okay, so 44 divided by, okay, and then 44 divided by 15, okay? So how many times do we have 15 going into 44? Okay, so somebody can think about 2 times because 2 by 15, that will give you 30. Somebody can think about 3 times because 3 times 15 will give us what? It's going to give us 45 because 3 times 15 is 45. So that is over 44. So you cannot go 3 times. So it got to be 2 times because 2 times 15 is 30. So 2 times 15 is 30, right? So it's 30 here. So you subtract. All right, so that gives you what? 14. Now, can 15 go into 14 evenly? No. Okay, because 15 is higher than 14, so it cannot go into it evenly. We see what we're talking about? All right. So now, after getting this, so you're pretty much done. So what is happening? So this number here is your quotient, correct? So that's your quotient. Okay, so this one is your divisor. This number here is your remainder. Okay, and then 44 is your dividend, correct? So if you guys remember those. All right, so you have your dividend, your divisor, your quotient, and then your remainder. So the reason why I did that is because now we're going to see how we write out the mixed number. So to write out the mixed number, the quotient goes first. So that is 2 in this case, right? And then, so we're going to have to use the remainder, which is 14 over the divisor, which is 15. So the 15 as a denominator originally does not change. So the denominator does not change. The bottom fraction number stays just the same. The only thing that you have here is then you have your quotient here, and then you have your remainder here. That's how you write out your fractions. Okay, sometimes also fractions are, divided in different ways, different places. In the US, for example, okay, talking about that. So in the US, for example, you can divide it by doing what? 15. So you put it this way, and then 15, then divide it into 44, right? So that'd be 44 here. So you just like a reverse of what we do in other places, in Africa, in Asia, in Europe, for example. A lot of places we do it this way. And then in the US, for example, it's done this way. Okay, so that's something that you need to keep in mind. So it just is pretty much the same thing. So 15 goes into 44 how many times? Okay, it goes into it twice. Because if you say 3 times, so that means 3 by 15 will give you what? 45, which is higher than 44. So definitely is twice. So 2 times 15 is 30, and then you subtract it, okay? So once you subtract it, you get 14. 14 is the remainder. 2 is your quotient, and then you have your divisor, and then you have your dividend. And then you're cool, all right? So same thing. Okay, so it doesn't really matter where you are. You should be getting the same answer, okay? So now the next one is 19 over 3. So 19 over 3, so again, the same thing we're going to divide 19 by. So it's going to be 19 by 3. So how many times 3 goes into 19? So it's going to be multiplication tables, ladies and gentlemen. Multiplication tables, please. Okay, go back, check it again, especially for the young ones. Okay, let's don't get used too much of the calculators. Yes, we're going to use them, but let's get the fundamentals first. Okay, so we go ahead and then we say that would be 6 times, knowing your multiplication table. So because 3 times 6 is 18, and then 19 minus 18 is what? 1. So pretty much nothing, nothing further to do, okay? So again, this one is your quotient here, your remainder, divisor, and then the dividend, right? So that's it. So pretty much you have your divisor, your quotient, remainder, and then you have your dividend. Okay, so now how do we write the final answer here? So we said the quotient goes first, so that'll be 6. All right, and then what goes after that? The remainder goes after that, that is 1, then over your divisor, which is 3. Okay, so this is your final answer here. That is your final answer there. Okay, now last but not least, we have 61 divided by 5. Okay, so the question is, how do we go about that? So again, this is 61 divided by 5. Okay, so how many times? How many times? So, 5 and 61. So here we can go with the, with the first digit here, because that could go 1 time, right? So it's 1 times 5 is 5. So we minus it, and then we end up with what? So that is 1, and then 11. Bring the 1 down. So how many times 5 goes into 11? Twice. Because 2 times 5 is 10, right? So you have 10 minus here, so you end up with 1 left. And then that's what you get. All right, ladies and gentlemen? So you got the 1. And then, so again, following the same thing here, so that would give us what? We said the quotient is the first one that goes, so 12. What is the next one is our remainder. So it's 1 then over 5. Remember one thing all the time, ladies and gentlemen, your denominators stay the same as you finish your problems. Okay? They do not change. They stay what they were before. And then also, again, if there is anything to reduce, because sometimes you work out the problems where the fraction here can still be reduced further. So that one, brings a little bit of spice in there. Okay, so we're going to see that in other videos, okay?